Facebook faced another privacy data breach this past week. The company admitted that attackers accessed 50 million accounts and that another 40 million were at risk. But there is another way your privacy is being compromised on Facebook, and it's the subject of new reporting from Gizmodo's Kashmir Hill. She joined us from San Francisco to talk about shadow contacts and the Facebook information you can't see or control. Let's talk a little bit about the story that you had earlier this week. You talk about kind of a shadow profile that exists, whether or not you exist on Facebook, whether or not you choose to have your identity revealed to Facebook. First, just for definition's sake, what are you talking about? How does it happen?
Well, I call it shadow contact information. So this is a profile for a person who is on Facebook. It's a profile that contains lots of information that you yourself haven't given to Facebook, that they have collected from other sources. So this is information that has been uploaded by people who know you from their contact books. So it may be email addresses and phone numbers that you've used throughout your life. Facebook will absorb that from people who know you and layer it onto your account. And then you can't see or access that information, but they use that information to make friend recommendations to you and also to target you with ads.
So, for example, if I've had a number of email addresses in my past, right? So, if you have me in your Rolodex, you might have an email account that is 3 years old or 5 years old, one that I might not be using. Maybe it's a new job. So, what happens? Do they have another data point on me with that old information?
Oh yeah, exactly. So they probably know every email address you've ever used for any job you've ever had, the email address that you had in college, every phone number that you've ever had, probably the landline that you had as a kid. This is all layered onto your account. And so this is why I originally became really interested in this concept because of people being so disturbed by their friend recommendations. Really creepy anecdotes from people like a psychiatrist whose patients were being recommended to each other there. A sex worker who was seeing her clients appear there, even though she had, communicated with them through a burner phone number and an email address that she never used anywhere else. And so I was trying to figure out, how it is that Facebook was so accurately able to make these predictions about who people knew. And what it boiled down to was this shadow contact information. If you have all the contact information that anybody has ever used, and you're able to see into the contact books of millions of users, you can just make connections between people that are really incredible and really creepy. Like you basically know everybody in the world who has ever talked to anyone else in the world through an electronic means.
So, what you're talking about, if all of the people that are surrounding me and all of the contact information that exists about me in all of their different files, technically speaking, they own those files, right? I can't go back to Facebook and say, hey, clean that information out, because that's something that's in your phone. That's your information on me.
Right. What's so hard about this is it makes it impossible to protect your own privacy because you can't go out and scrub your information from the phone book or contact book or Rolodex of anyone you've ever given it to your whole life. And then Facebook says they won't let you see this information because it's not your information. It belongs to the people who gave it to Facebook. Users in Europe actually have a very strong argument for why Facebook should show them this information because they there have this strong privacy law, GDPR, and it gives them the right to access the data that a company holds on them. And so I think they actually have a legal claim to get access to that information.
All right, Kashmir Hill of Gizmodo Media joining us from California today. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me on.